Hello, this is the month of February in the year 2021. I'm going to make a presentation of this information that you see, and while I'm speaking, just make sure you read the information, and also make sure you after we go forth with this, you make sure you share this information with at least 100 people. I'm going to keep saying that as throughout this presentation because it really takes you in order to do what we're going to be recommending in this. To be free, you have to be free with your vote. This is all about your freedom, your vote, what you want. What is it that you want? In today's society, and well, again, this is a February year 2021. In today's society, we can take our telephone and we can pay our bills. Yep, we can also buy food, we can shop, we can bank with the telephone. There's nothing really that we cannot do. And this time in our life, we're going through a pandemic worldwide. We call it coronavirus, and there's different forms of the virus that's going out throughout the world. And people are now using their telephone and digital means of communicating because the virus will kill you if you go too far too fast among so many people or some people. Well, this is also a celebration of what we call in America Black History Month. Well, every month of the year is a Black History Month. Every month of the year is for white history, brown history, yellow history, red history. Regardless of who you are, the history of your people is here to stay. It never leaves. God created the world and He created a whole lot of people. And those people in the world have history. All our lives are based on that. In America, we have this voting system. And what we're talking about here is for you to get familiar with the American voting system. The American voting system is not as fair as one would think it be, and it's just like you having someone to take your life. When someone take your vote, it is similarly just like taking your life. You have the right to live, you also have the right to vote. And what this process is to dimly introduce you to the process of voting and not letting anyone take your vote. The information that you see, I did not produce any of the information that you see. Is taken directly from the voting system in America, state by state. And you can see in the red at the top, it say you have the right to vote. That's not me saying that. That's the system in the United States of America telling you that you have the right to vote, and if anyone tries to stop you, call the Election Protection Hotline at 1-866-687-8683. Again, that's if anyone tries to stop you from voting, you can call this number 866-687 8683 and report that individual for trying to prevent you from voting. While in America, they have means to try to stop you from voting by changing rules and lines and all that thing. But now the technology that we have in our hand, in our pocket, in our house is the telephone, and we can simply use our mobile phone that we have in our hand to register to vote. We can do whatever we like. Look at the information that you see on the screen. It says check your registration. Not sure if you are registered to vote. Then we'll help you check and register if you can. Now, this is for individuals who want to vote. Register to vote. It takes less than 2 minutes to register. Less than 2 minutes, and you can be registered to exercise your right to do whatever it is you want to do. And your vote is leave you in a position where you can live where you want to live, do what you want to do, go where you want to go. It is all in reference to your vote. Your vote is one of the most important things that's in your life, except your life, and your life is your vote. Get the election reminder, all this information, pledge to vote, all these data that you see are coming from voter.org. At the top in the right corner, left corner, you see vote.org. Visit vote.org and get familiar with vote.org and how and why you should register to vote. And make sure once you register, you share your registration process with at least 100 people in America. At least 100. So if you have contacted someone who has already registered, then you make sure that that person contacts another 100 people. What you want to try and do is to make sure that everyone over the age of 18 that lives in America is registered to vote. I mean, every citizen in America should be registered to vote because every person that's living in America are living in America. And if you are alive in America, you should vote if you live in America. If you live in America, it's just like voting. Your vote is your life. We're going to go on with this presentation. We're going to give you somewhat of, well, we're going to cut this down and try to make it as short as possible. But at the same time, we're going to introduce you to the process. Now, I don't know if you know about the dropbox voting system in all 50 states, but all 50 states in America now, you can complete your ballot and you can drop your ballot into what we call a drop box. Well, on the screen you'll see examples of a drop box, and these are drop box in the state of Maryland where I'm making this presentation from, but the drop box system is throughout all 50 states in America, including the District of Columbia and the Virgin Islands. But now we're talking about 52 ways that you can vote. That means all 50 states plus the two uh, well, Virgin Island is a territory, but the District of Columbia is not a territory. It's the nation's capital, but still, it's treated like it's a territory because the citizens in the District of Columbia are not a state. They don't have the state rights that the people do in other parts of all the other 50 states. What again? That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the drop box voting system for all 50 states, and on this 1 through 50, you can see the URLs for all 50 states, and they're not in any kind of chronological order here, but we do have them in this presentation to show you that they are in the chronological alphabetical order. But here we're just trying to give an idea of how you want to access the URLs that you see for, say, for instance, Delaware, Iowa, Maryland, Kentucky, Alaska, Utah, Missouri, Texas. Doesn't really matter, Colorado, Kansas, Connecticut, New Jersey, Nevada. It doesn't really matter what state you want to live in or that you live in. You can now vote in whatever state you're in simply by using your telephone, and we're going to show you now in detail to show you how you can take a three-step process and vote in Missouri. And what we're recommending that you make sure you understand how to become a means or use a means to vote, and your state should be able to implement what we're showing on the screen. It's not necessarily in your state at the present time, but make sure you visit vote.org and it will become familiar. Now you see the long URLs at the Missouri at the top. When you access that URL, and you can be able to do that by just clicking, we're going to show you how to do that in a minute, you will go direct to the state of Missouri's Secretary of State to get information about the voting in that state. Now what we're going to do now is show you the same process state by state, starting with the state of Missouri, to show you how to get involved in using your telephone, just like you use your telephone to shop, to buy something. You can have your food delivered in your door now with the use of your telephone. You can pay your bills with the use of your telephone. You can bank and transfer money with the use of your telephone. You can do a whole lot of things with the use of just your phone now. Well, why not use the voting, which is the most important thing that you really want to do, is to vote so you can have the right to a bank. You can have the right to pay your bills here. You can have the right to do things that you may not be able to do without having voted. And if you don't vote, then why not vote? If you're going to live in the United States, then you should vote in the United States. Every citizen above age 18 should vote and register now by using your phone. Again, this is North Carolina. We're going to just go through each one of these states now to show you how it is and what you want to do. Pennsylvania, show you how to go step by step, state by state, how you can now vote. Wyoming, you can vote. We're not in any kind of order. We're just showing you step by step how you can vote. West Virginia, how you can vote. And notice all the information is the same. We talking about year 2022 is the next time that you'll be vote. So by year 2022, you want to make sure you have shared this information with at least 100 people, and have that at least 100 people by year 2022 to register to vote using their telephone as the means to do so. That's Virginia. We're going to go now to Vermont. You notice all these states are here state by state to show you how to vote. In Utah, we just left Vermont. You notice Vermont is just like Utah, and Utah is just like Texas. All the information is here. It doesn't. All the thing that changes is URL for that particular state. South Dakota, you can see each one of these. Now, something that you see here is Twitter, and you notice each one of them have Twitter in it because I'm going to show you how to access this information off of the Twitter page that we're set up to show you how you can vote through the process of using Twitter in order to vote. You can also use the process to go to YouTube and vote. So it's a different one. This is Pennsylvania. We're moving on now in Oregon. Not in any kind of order. I'm just trying to show you if you access this information and you live in that particular state, Oklahoma, then we're showing you how each one of the states is here. Everyone is in this order. Ohio is there for your, if you live in the state of Ohio or the state of North Dakota, you can vote. They are not in any chronological order, other than the fact is to show you that you can now, North Carolina, you can vote in North Carolina by phone, using your phone. New York, you can vote in New York. If you're in Florida and you live in the state of New York, you can now vote by phone. If you're in New Mexico and you're living in California, you can now vote in New Mexico, but you use your phone. New Jersey, if you're living in New York and you want to vote in New Jersey, you can do that. If you're a citizen of New Hampshire and you want to vote in New Hampshire, you can use your phone to vote in New Hampshire, Nevada. Each one of the states in the whole, all 50 states, including the Commonwealth, District of Columbia and Virgin Islands, you can vote. Nebraska, all 50 states, and we're just now just trying to show you state by state, Montana, how you can go from each state by phone and vote. And if you're an American citizen, you want to vote. Mississippi, one of these southern states, Montana, one of the western, I'm sorry, Minnesota, you can vote in Minnesota. But in Michigan, is all 50 states we're listing. So you don't have any excuse not to vote. Massachusetts, and you vote by phone, excuse me, same information is here for you to vote. The state of Maryland, where I am making this presentation, you can vote by phone. Okay, Maine, each state is listing from all 50 states. And all you got to do is just exercise the state of Louisiana. You can vote by phone, excuse me. You can vote. Kentucky, Louisiana. We just left Louisiana. Now we're in Kentucky. Now we're going to leave Kentucky. Now we're in Kansas to show you how easy it is for you to take advantage of this opportunity. If you live in Iowa, you can vote. Is this all 50 states? And I'm just not being repetitive. I'm just showing you how your state is here. If you live in whatever state you live in, your state is listed here looking just like the other. In all 2022, you will be voting again. And I hope that you exercise your means to vote in year 2022 because of just what happened yesterday in the state of in the United States. So Georgia, one of the states that we was a controversy in the year 2020. Now we're in 2021, but 2022, Florida is a state. We really Delaware. We showing you what it look like. Delaware, Connecticut, all of the states, and I'm just listing the name of the states to give you an idea is what that is. Colorado, we didn't highlight it, but this is Colorado. Okay, now we're in California. Just give you an idea of how and what you should get involved with using the telephone to vote. Arkansas is one of the southern states to show you how to use the telephone in order to vote. Arizona, another western state. But nevertheless, wherever you are, if you're in Arizona, you want to vote in New York, you can do it. Alaska, if you're in Alaska and you want to vote in Arkansas, you can do that simply by using the telephone in order to do that. Okay, Alabama, this is probably the last state we're going to be talking about right now because we're ready to conclude this process. Yep. Now here we're giving you the states in alphabetical order. So what we want to do now is to show you how you can just simply go to, if you're going to vote in Alabama, South Carolina, Texas, Wyoming, Kentucky, Minnesota, Missouri, Montana, New York, New Jersey, Arizona, Arkansas, whatever states you want to vote in, you just want to click on it now, and it's going to take you to that state secretary. Same information you saw if you go, and it's going to take you to that state's voting process. And if you want, go to vote.org, and vote.org is going to bring into the information that you saw in detail also that we shared with you a few minutes ago. Now, in conclusion of this presentation, I want you to make sure that you see these are examples of drop boxes where you can vote and drop your ballot in the mail. We're using YouTube because this information is going to be uploaded on the YouTube to show you how to use the American voting system, state by state voting drop box system throughout the process of voting, and make sure you share this with at least 100 people before year 2022, and make sure each 100 people share it.